What's going on, people? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. I'm host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You know, that show where we go ahead and do our thing. You know we're going down today, yeah. So turn it off, turn it all the way off, boy. What's going on, people? Again, please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and again, this is Sports Plus Life. This is that show where we definitely talk about the hottest sports topic that's are deemed to be talked about, as well as other issues, depending on the importance or severity of it. Because, see, there's some things that everybody might take seriously that I really kind of don't take that seriously. It's just because I don't like to stress and worry about stuff that's beyond my control. You feel me? But anyway, how is everybody doing today? You know, it's a little cloudy today out here in the Richmond, VA, or Henrico, VA, however you want to put it. But I hope everybody is definitely enjoying themselves. Yo, we got a lot to talk about. We really do, especially in this world of sports. Saturday was crazy. Sunday was crazier. So we definitely have a lot to talk about. But before I get started, I just want to return a shout out to my 6 people who actually listen to me. I wonder if you guys watch this YouTube show called Random TV Reviews, and I is featuring this married couple named Lynette and Stanley, and I've been watching them consistently, I would say, for the last couple of years, because they basically, you know, they give a breakdown of TV shows. They do Power and they do Empire. Those are the main ones that I watch, and you know, I've been a consistent follower, and then, you know, find out they're from Virginia, from Richmond, which is always great because I love to support my people. But I actually ran into Stanley New Year's Eve at the ABC store, before I had to go to church and sing. Don't judge me. I did not drink before I went to church. I promise you that. But I saw him, I recognized him, you know, and I just, you know, gave him, you know, a shout out, hollered at him, you know, just to let him know that, hey, I'm a fan, and I enjoy what you do. And their last random review, which I was watching last night right after I watched Power, which is my favorite show. I'm not going to get into Power because I'll leave that for them to do. I'm just wondering, I don't think it's anybody who they show in the previews of Who Shot Ghost. But anyway, I don't think it's that person. I don't think we're going to find out it's somebody totally random, but I'll leave that to them. But he gave me a shout out on their last review, and I really appreciated that because, you know, I mean, and I'm a fan. You know, I'm a fan. I'll always be a fan, and a friend as well. I mean, because I see people doing good, especially coming from where I come from. So definitely shout out to Stanley, shout out to Lynette, and if y'all listening to this, definitely check them out. Subscribe to their channel, and you'll get educated on Power in a very entertaining way. Now, they are edited for the most part, and if y'all listen to me, y'all know I'm not edited. Biatch. I'm not. I haven't gotten to that point yet where I'll say, hey, maybe I should wash my mouth. So as of right now, fuck that. Biatch. But anyway, shout out to you, bro. Thanks for the shout out on your show. Again, shout out to Lynette. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, because I'm damn sure gonna keep watching. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, January 13th, 2020. All right, and like I say, there's a whole bunch to talk about in the world of sports. So hey, without further ado, let's get to it. I didn't drag it out today like I usually do. But man, oh man, oh man, these NFL playoffs, man, oh man. I guess I should just go ahead and start with the Saturday games. The conference championships are set, but one matchup maybe you could have seen coming. I tell you what, the second one you definitely didn't see coming. But I will start off with the Saturday game, the early Saturday game, which was, excuse me, the San Francisco 49ers the number 1 seeded San Francisco 49ers going up against the number 6 seeded Minnesota Vikings. Remember, Minnesota last week pulled the upset in New Orleans in overtime, beating the Saints, and they earned themselves a trip to the Bay Area to face the 49ers, who got the number 1 seed by the hair on their chinny chin chin by a Super Bowl 34-esque tackle, Titans versus Rams. If you remember, the Titans were stopped just at the 1-yard line, and that's kind of what happened. I'll tell you, Seattle's tight end was stopped on the 1-inch line, and that propelled the 49ers to get the number 1 seed and, of course, a bye. And Seattle had to go to Philadelphia and play a first-round game, so the 49ers got a chance to get that rest. Now, what the 49ers were able to do was get some of their defensive players healthy, and boy, did it make a difference, as San Francisco just, they looked every bit the number 1 seed when they played the Minnesota Vikings. They bitch smacked them boys. I'm going to tell you straight up. They bitch smacked them. Outside of the 41-yard touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins to Stephon Diggs in the first quarter, which answered a 49ers touchdown, this was no game. Now, the 49ers won 27-10, but I don't know if I've ever heard of a deceiving 17-point score, but it really was. The Minnesota Vikings got 7 first downs in the entire game. In the entire game. You suck. The 49ers defense was relentless. Dalvin Cook, who, when he is healthy, everything about the Vikings is different in a positive way. Dalvin Cook had 9 carries for 18 yards. The 49ers were all over him. Now, you look at the stats. Kirk Cousins, 21 of 29, 172 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. You know, most of those were dink and dunks, with the exception of the 41-yard touchdown pass to Diggs. The rest of those, the other 20 completions, were dink and dunks. He only averaged 5.9 yards, per pass. Stephon Diggs only had 2 catches. He had the 41-yarder, then he had another 16-yarder. That's it. He was dinking and dunking to Adam Thielen, but they weren't getting anywhere. He was sacked about 6 times. Now, the crazy thing is, Jimmy Garoppolo was 11-19 for 131, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but the 49ers ran the ball right down Minnesota's throat.
What about the wiener?
Like, after Richard Sherman got his interception in the second half, this drive really would put the game away. The 49ers had 8 plays, 8 runs, right down the Vikings' throat for a touchdown. Tevin Coleman had 22 carries for 105 yards. Raheem Mostert, 12 carries, 58 yards. The 49ers have a great running back by committee, and what people honestly have slept on is Kyle Shanahan's play calling. This dude is a magician just like his daddy. Just like his daddy. And we know his daddy, the 2-time Super Bowl champion coach for my Denver Broncos. Biatch. But he, I've said it, I'll say it again. The trade for Emmanuel Sanders really freed up this offense, because you had receivers that were unproven and nobody had any type of fear in them. You just knew about George Kittle, and you knew they had a running game. So I'm going to tell you who has stepped up. Deebo Samuel. This dude is a beast. This dude is nasty. And those receivers seem to complement each other just like those running backs seem to complement each other. And if you have that defense get back to first half of the season or first 10, 11 games, San Francisco form defense, oh boy, it's going to be a problem for everybody else. So the 49ers, and I thought that this game would get ugly. I did, because I knew the 49ers would have time to get healthy. You get Dee Ford back. You get a couple of your defensive backfield players back. You just get the extra week off, the rest in general, because, unlike the other number 1 seed, who I'm going to get into in a second, the 49ers couldn't rest up anybody on the last week, and that plays a big part. They had to play everybody down to the very last play. Week 17 against Seattle. So the 49ers still had a semblance of sharpness, particularly on the offensive side, and their defense was able to get healthy. I think for a bye week, it's more important for the defensive players to get a bye week than the offense, because you could show signs of rust on offense if you have everything wrapped up so quick. And you end up missing really what amounts to 3 weeks of football, which is what happened to the Ravens, who I'm going to get in right now. Because like I said, 49ers did what I expected them to do. They won. They look great winning. And they are going to be a problem. Oh, now, on the other hand, the goddamn Baltimore Ravens, who were 14-2. Now, I'm not going to change my tune saying that the Lamar Jackson era isn't here now, because clearly it is. But he ain't the only one. You know, you're going to look to the left and you're going to see Patty Mahomes. You're going to look to the right, you're going to see Deshaun Watson. You know, but this is what happens when you're too dominant. The Baltimore Ravens had not lost a game since September? Maybe early October. They week 4. They lost. They were 2-2. They hadn't lost a game since then. And what was even more impressive at the time, they were blowing everybody out. They were beating the hell out of everybody. These games were not close, with the exception of when they played the 49ers and maybe the Buffalo game. They kind of pulled away at the end. But the other 10 games was 10 one-sided ass whippings. And sometimes when you're that dominant, you know, you might want to at least see a test. See, this is the difference between the 49ers and the Ravens. The 49ers, their last month of their season, all of these were tight games. They played elite-level competition. They had to go to New Orleans. They had to play Seattle. They played a Rams team that they were very familiar with, and a very prideful team. They represented the NFC in the Super Bowl last year. So the 49ers had to bring it every week for the last month. The Ravens had everything locked up with about 3 games to go. Thus, you sit Lamar Jackson, Ingram, Andrews. You know, they're a little banged up. They don't play for about 3 weeks, and they played a red-hot Tennessee Titans team. No, I'm sorry. They played a red-hot Derrick Henry. God damn it! The Tennessee Titans, who went to Foxborough last week, dethroned the defending champion New England Patriots. And I said, one man beat the Patriots. And damn it, if they didn't go to Baltimore and smack the Ravens. They were more dominant this week than they were last week. The final score was 28-12. And this game was barely ever close. I mean, Baltimore came out, they were moving the ball, and then Lamar Jackson throws an interception on a tip pass first drive and gets a unnecessary roughness penalty afterwards, which I thought that was a bit excessive, you know, basically for the refs to even call that. But that whole game, I was kind of like, all right, Baltimore, when are you going to kick it into high gear? All right, Baltimore, when are you going to kick it into high gear? What happened was the Ravens were moving the ball from the 20 to the 20. You know, they were moving the ball from their 20 to Tennessee's 20, but Tennessee had a very stingy bend but don't break defense. They stopped the Ravens on 3 separate fourth down occasions where, honestly, the Ravens were deep in the Tennessee territory, maybe for a couple of them. And sometimes you just, I know that's your identity. You were 8 for 8 during the season on fourth downs. But you have to understand the situational football. And John Harbaugh's no rookie. He's a Super Bowl champion coach. And I don't know maybe if it was just a little arrogance or I don't know. But Tennessee was ready for everything that the Ravens did. Now, if you look at Lamar Jackson's stat line, that's misleading because Lamar Jackson stat-wise got over 500 yards of offense by himself, 365 pass yards, 143 running yards. But they were down early. You know, Tennessee converted that interception of Lamar Jackson into a touchdown. And then the next time the Ravens got the ball, the Ravens were near midfield, got stopped on the 4th and 1. The very next play, and this is Mike Vrabel is almost a mirror image of Bill Belichick. The very next play, they went down the field. To get for a home run ball for a touchdown to Raymond, a 45-yard touchdown pass.
God damn!
I mean, that was Ryan Tannehill's best throw of the day. It was the only throw he needed to make. Ryan Tannehill, for the second straight week, did not throw for 100 yards passing, but he had 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. 7 of 14, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. But what they're doing is nobody can stop this big burly beast, Derrick Henry, who had 30 carries, $195, and threw for a touchdown. Ain't that a bitch? And the Baltimore Ravens were just never able to get on track at all. And what Tennessee did is when they got the lead, they said, okay, you know what we're going to do. We're going to give the ball to number 22, and what can you do? What are you going to do about it? And the answer was absolutely nothing. The Ravens couldn't do anything to stop Derrick Henry. He's been the most unstoppable player thus far in the playoffs. First player in NFL history to have back-to-back playoff games rushing for over 175 yards. Not even my boy Terrell Davis, who had the greatest playoff run for a running back ever thus far, because Derrick Henry he's pushing the envelope. He had the greatest running back stretch in the playoffs thus far from in 1997, leading Denver from the wild card to Super Bowl champion. But nobody can stop this guy, Derrick Henry. He has been the most unstoppable player in the playoffs. Like I said, Ryan Tannehill, combined with the 2 games, has thrown for what, less than 160 yards combined, maybe around 160 yards in 2 games. You know what this Tennessee Titans team reminds me of? They remind me of the Patriots' first Super Bowl team. Just so ironic, their coach Mike Vrabel, like I said, he is looking like a mere image of Bill Belichick. And Mike Vrabel, who has 3 Super Bowl victories with the Patriots, their first 3. This looks like that first team, where that formula for that team was run the ball, play solid defense, make throws when you have to. 88 yards that Ryan Tannehill had, that sound like 2001 Tom Brady stats on any given week. It does. I mean, and that's to my true sports heads who remember that stuff. I just remember all of that stuff. I don't need no computer, nothing. It's phonographic memory. But for the Ravens, man, this is a clear-cut case of when you're too dominant, when you're too dominant, this is what can happen. And the Ravens, like I said, 10 out of their last 12 games, they were annihilating opponents. Where, of course, you're going to say, yeah, they got to be the favorite. But then you don't play a meaningful game in almost a month. And like I said, to me, it's more important, if you're going to give players rest, to me it's more important to give your defensive players rest as opposed to your offensive players, because offense requires so much more rhythm than defense.
Settle down just a little bit.
Now, if I had a player like Andrews, who was a little beat up against the Cleveland Browns, sure, I would sit him. Okay, whatever. But I would have played Lamar Jackson. I would have played I'd have played everybody except for Mark Ingram and Mark Andrews. That's it. I'd have played him that last week against Pittsburgh. At least for a half. You know what I mean? At least for a half. Because while you look at Lamar Jackson's stats, they look amazing. They were behind the whole game. The whole entire game. So the best record and team with the best record in football is done. And now I will move to the Sunday games, the early Sunday game, the one I was looking forward to the most, the Houston Texans going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, this game was just crazy. This game was just crazy. Houston just came out the gates like swinging. Houston, got a long touchdown pass to Kenny Stills, and then a block punt return for a touchdown, and then Deshaun Watson threw another touchdown to Darren Fells, and then they got a field goal, and I'm like, well, hold on. It is 24-0 Houston in Kansas City at the beginning of the second quarter, and I put on Facebook, it's over. This game is over. Not because I didn't think that Kansas City's offense wouldn't get going, because the first quarter, they just had the dropsies. They did. They were just dropping everything. Easy first downs. Just Kelsey, DeMarcus Robinson, Tyreek Hill fumbled a punt, which was dumb for them to put him back. See, this is what some teams, sometimes you get in the playoffs and you out-coach yourself. You do. Like Andy Reid, I understand it's an important game. You send Tyreek Hill back to field punts or whatever. But the dude your return man, McCole Hardman, made the Pro Bowls. And he's the one that gave them the spark to get their offense going after it was 24-0 with a big kick return. But yes, I put on Facebook, it's over. I put this game is over. I don't care how hot Kansas City's offense gets. Their D will not be able to stop Houston enough. Man, was I wrong. Biatch. And I mean, I was wrong. Peep this out. It's 24-0 in the second quarter. Houston's up 24-0. By halftime, Kansas City was up 28-24. God damn! And I'm sitting here thinking, what the hell just happened? These nuts. And I'm like, what? Let's at least go through the second quarter. Okay, Houston's driving at the beginning of the second quarter, looking to go up 28-0. I believe they have the ball right outside a goal-to-go area, maybe like the 12, 13-yard line. They have a 4th and 1, 4th and inches. I thought they would go for it. I was kind of indecisive. You're up 21-0. Don't give them, a spark. Just keep on scoring points. If they stop you, they're going to be revved up. But then at the same time, you want to give your team who's already up 21 points the confidence and the swag of saying they can't 4th and inches. Bro, we can get that. We got this. Let's go up 4 touchdowns. And it's crazy because I remember looking on Twitter and saw LeBron James had tweeted when it was 21-0 saying, well, glad this ain't Madden because you know what happens. Yeah, that's the rule. That's the unwritten rule. And when you playing somebody in Madden, you go down 21-0. That you got to pass the sticks. And that's why I always hated that rule because a lot of game left to be played. And so they don't go for it on 4th down. They kick a field goal. They're up 24-0. Kansas City comes back and scores a touchdown, 24-7. Okay, cool. You could expect that. So Baltimore is driving again, and this time they had a 4th and 3, and they're going up the punt. Instead, they call a fake punt, and Sorensen from Kansas City makes a hell of a play to stop Justin Reed, and Kansas City gets the ball back at around like the 30-yard line. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. So you don't go for it on 4th and 1 at their 12 or 13-yard line, but you run a fake punt on 4th and 3 deep in your own territory? What sense does that make, Bill O'Brien? So then, needless to say, Kansas City scores. On the kick, it's 24-14. On the kickoff, Houston's kick returner fumbles it. Kansas City gets it back. They have a 1st and goal after that. Kansas City scores again. By that time, it's 24-21. I said, well, damn, I was wrong. This game ain't over. This motherfucker just getting started. Kansas City was just getting started. Kansas City scored 41 straight points before Houston finally answered with a touchdown. And Kansas City ended up dropping 51 points. 51 points. I repeat that third time. 51 points. In less than 3 quarters. Patrick Mahomes was absolutely amazing. Deshaun Watson was amazing too. Deshaun Watson played an absolute great game. But Patrick Mahomes was 23 for 35, 321 yards, 5 touchdowns. Travis Kelsey, 10 catches, 134 receptions, 3 touchdowns. Damian Williams, he had 3 touchdowns. And it's like this is where I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. Deshaun Watson, you are my guy. You got to do something to stop that bleeding, bro. 7 straight possessions and 7 straight touchdowns. And, Kansas City's defense has been better the last quarter of the season. But damn, we all know the weakness of the Chiefs is their defense. And you were full up with your weapons today. You had Will Fuller. He was playing. Of course, you had Nuke Hopkins, Kenny Stills. You had all of your weapons. You scored 24 straight. So you mean to tell me out of 7 straight drives for touchdowns, you couldn't answer them at least twice? If you answer them twice or 3 times, you may still win the game. I was just like, wow. I mean, Kansas City, you're not going to see stuff like that often. They went the fuck off. They did. Kansas City just went completely bonkers from the second quarter on. And it was nothing that Houston could do about it. It was absolutely nothing that the Houston Texans could do about it. So, they're out. The AFC Championship game is set for the second straight year. It will be in Arrowhead Stadium. And if you think Kansas City was a favorite last year to beat the Patriots, everybody's thinking that they are going to smoke the Tennessee Titans. I being one of them, but I will say this. You better not let Tennessee get up early, because let me tell you something. The Chiefs can F around if they want to and fall 24 points behind Tennessee. I will put a Facebook post up saying it's over again, and I'll be right. If the Tennessee Titans score 24 straight points, if the Tennessee Titans get a 24-point lead on the Kansas City Chiefs, first of all, they're not going to do no dumb shit. They're not going to make dumb decisions like Bill O'Brien, go for a fake punt in their own territory. They're not going to do things like that. What they're going to do is they're going to give the ball to that big, burly, bruising running back named Derrick Henry, and they're going to shorten the game. They're going to shorten the game. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to say, stop us. And if the Patriots defense and the Ravens defense couldn't stop Derrick Henry running the ball, the Kansas City Chiefs ain't got a chance in hell of stopping Derrick Henry. They don't have a chance in east, west, north, or south hell to stop Derrick Henry. But the difference with the Chiefs is they don't need to control time of possession to put up 50 points. A lot of these drives where they scored 7 straight touchdowns, they were short, like 5 plays or less. That's the one thing. They don't need quick time to score at all. My thing is, if they fall behind 24 points to the Titans, you can score quick, but how long are the Titans going to have the ball their next drive? Because you can't score 24 points on one drive. If they fall down by 2 possessions, all right, cool. They'll still come back and win. If they fall down 3 possessions to Tennessee, they will not win. They will not win. Well, look, if they fall down by 20 or more points, they will not win. 17, you get 2 touchdowns and field goal tie the game. Okay. But if they fall down by 20 or more points, they will not win, because Tennessee will shorten the game. The Chiefs could score on their next 2 possessions, but I guarantee you Derrick Henry they're going to ball control with Derrick Henry, have 7-8 minute drives that's going to end up in points, because Kansas City will not stop Derrick Henry. The only way that you will stop Derrick Henry is if the Chiefs get out to a big lead. If the Chiefs get up 2 possessions, 2 or 3 possessions. If they get up by 17 or 21 points, then you put the game in Ryan Tannehill's hands. Now you're going to see what it is he's going to do, because he's had it easy the first 2 playoff games. He has had the gravy train the first 2 weeks of these playoffs. So, on to the late game yesterday, Sunday, the NFC game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Game that had a lot of drama coming down to the end. I expected it to be a very good game. You have a game between two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. And you got the Green Bay Packers, and I called Seattle to win. I did. You got the Green Bay Packers prevailing 28-23. I tell you, the Packers have just flown under the radar 13-3, but they haven't had that game where you're like, wow, you got to look out for them. But they just keep winning. They just keep winning. And, you know, you got to give props where props is due. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was solid. You know, he was solid. 16 for 27, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams had himself a game. 8 catches, 160, and 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson was solid. You know, 21 for 31, 277 yards, 1 touchdown. Also ran the ball for 64 yards, and Tyler Lockett had a game. 9 receptions, 136, and a touchdown. Marshawn Lynch had 2 touchdowns as well. This was a game that went down to the wire, and basically the end result was Seattle could not get off the field, could not get Green Bay off the field for Russell Wilson to get another chance. He had a key first down pass to Devontae Adams for a first down. It was on third down, 3rd and long, and again to Jimmy Graham on a 3rd and 9. And that sealed the game, and Seattle could never get the ball back. They were down. They made a valiant comeback, as they always do. Seattle was down 28-10 in the 3rd quarter and scored a couple of touchdowns. And, you know, it was touch and go at the end because you didn't want to see Russell Wilson get the football back with that in that type of a situation, because there's a huge chance that he's going to bring home the goods. And that chance, unfortunately, for the Seattle Seahawks never materialized. So the NFC Championship game is set. And I'll first start, let's see, what's going to be the late game? The late game is going to be the NFC Championship game. I'll start with the AFC Championship game. Like I said, I mean, I went into as much detail as I needed to. The interesting thing is the Titans and the Chiefs did meet earlier this season, and the Titans actually beat them 35-13 in Nashville. I think that was Patrick Mahomes' first game back from when he got hurt against Denver. So I don't know how much stock I would put into that, because the Chiefs' defense has played a lot better since then. And Kansas City is like fully healthy, especially on offense. I don't see Travis Kelce having the game that he had yesterday, but I could see Tyreek Hill possibly getting off, because I'll give Houston credit. They took him away. They took him out the game. They really took him out the game. But you had man-to-man coverage, and their rookie cornerback could not do anything. Lonnie Johnson, he couldn't do anything with Travis Kelce. It was a mismatch. And you don't want to double Travis Kelce, because then you have 2 track stars in Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman on the outside, and Sammy Watkins running the slot. So it's like, what do? These boys, it's just too many weapons. I think, like I said, Tennessee's only hope is to get up early like they did against Baltimore. You know, they have to try to get a couple of touchdowns on them early and really shorten the game. If Kansas City gets up early, if they get up by a couple of scores early and you put the game in Tannehill's hands, I don't see that. So, yes, I'm picking the Chiefs. I picked the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl early in the season. So, I'm sticking with that. Now, the NFC Championship game, oh, man. Taking me back to the days of my youth. The 49ers and Packers for the NFC Championship. Man, it's in San Francisco. Where else could it be? 49ers and Packers only look right when it's in San Francisco. And let me give you a brief description of their history. I know this shit because I'm a football head. I mean, it's been a back and forth rivalry for the last 25 years now. 1995, the 49ers are the defending champions. They're the 2 seed. A young and up-and-coming Brett Favre, his first MVP season. The Packers come and house the 49ers, ending their championship reign on the way to falling short in the NFC Championship game to the Cowboys. Okay. 1996, the Packers, number 1 seed, clearly looking like the best team in the NFC at least. The 49ers have to come to Green Bay in the divisional round. Green Bay just spanks them on their way to what would eventually being a Super Bowl championship win over the New England Patriots. Next year, 1997, 49ers are the number 1 seed. It's the NFC Championship game. Brett Favre and the Packers come in as the defending Super Bowl champions and proceed to handle their business in San Francisco against Steve Young, young Terrell Owens, J.J. Stokes. Jerry Rice got hurt that year. And wasn't playing in that game. But still, Packers defeated them to go on to a second straight Super Bowl, ultimately losing to my Denver Broncos. Thank you, Terrell Davis. The next year, 1998, first round of the playoffs. Looked odd because it wasn't for a championship. The 49ers finally got that monkey off their back, the famous catch part 2, the Terrell Owens catch with 3 seconds left to go in the game. And that eliminated the Packers. A couple of quiet years by those teams. 2001 in Lambeau Field. Favre and the Packers win a close, epic game, beating Garcia, T.O., and the 49ers. But then things changed in the next decade. Things changed in the next decade with Jim Harbaugh as the coach of the Niners, Colin Kaepernick as the quarterback. 2 straight years the 49ers put the Packers out of the playoffs. 2012, divisional round in San Francisco. Colin Kaepernick set a record for most rushing yards by a quarterback as the 49ers just spanked the Packers. Then the next year, wild card round, epic game in Lambeau, but Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. They played earlier this year. The 49ers humiliated the Packers. It was one of the worst games of Aaron Rodgers' career. I expect to see all the nostalgia, all the old greats. I expect to see Young, Rice. We saw Montana against the Vikings. But I expect to see Young and Rice and T.O. I expect to see those guys, maybe even a Garrison Hurst sighting. I expect to see Favre, Leroy Butler, Antonio Freeman. This is a rivalry. This is a rock'em sock'em rivalry. And like I'm hyped to see this game. But who do I think is gonna win? I'm going with the 49ers, man. I'm going with the 49ers. Their defense told the rest of the teams left in the playoffs, we're back. I'm going with San Francisco. So it will be a Super Bowl meeting in Miami that's clearly offense against defense. Even though, like I said, I don't know if if y'all paid attention to this 49er offense now. Kyle Shanahan got them boys going. But I believe it will be the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers meeting in Super Bowl 54, as I think the Chiefs will take out the Titans and the 49ers, and what I think is going to be a great game. I don't think Green Bay is going to get embarrassed like they did the first time they played them, but they will fall short to the San Francisco 49ers. How you like them predictions? Hey. Oh, and by the way, breaking news. I'm gonna report this because it's news. Major League Baseball has suspended Houston. Well, this is the chain of events. Major League Baseball suspended Houston's GM Jeff Lunlow and their manager AJ Hinch because of stealing signals, basically cheating during their World Series championship run in 2017. They used technology to steal signals. Now, people have been stealing signals in baseball forever, but I guess if you don't do it with your own two eyes, then you're going too far to get an unfair advantage. So they got caught. They were suspended a year, and then the Astros, just a few minutes ago, just went on ahead and fired them both. You know, they just went on ahead and fired them both. This is a GM and a manager that has guided your team to two of the last 3 World Series appearances, winning in 2017, cheating, and losing in 7 games to the Washington Nationals just this past season. Now, I don't know if this is baseball's version of trying to save face or you know, we don't want anybody to mess up the integrity of the game. And I've said this before on this show, baseball has no motherfucking integrity. Okay, they don't. Baseball hasn't had any integrity for a very, 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 very long time. It's just come to light, period. And honestly, point blank, I don't care. Really? Good, get them out the way. Only thing I care about in baseball are my damn New York Yankees. That about it. Really, that's about it. But, like I said, they got suspended earlier in the day, and just a few minutes ago, they were fired. But here's my thing. If you really want to punish somebody, you know, because if you knew about this, and apparently they had been warned, and I'm going to say this about football too and the damn Patriots. If you have warned the team about doing these acts, that means you know that they up to no good. And you obviously haven't done enough to deter them from doing it. So as far as I'm concerned, you're an accomplice when it comes to Major League Baseball and the NFL. If you really want to kick somebody in the nuts with a punishment, take their damn World Series. Vacate those victories. Remove the World Series championship from the record books. Take that 2017 World Series away. I mean, if you're going to suspend the GM and the manager for cheating, the players benefited from them cheating, obviously, if they knew all the signals. So take the whole damn championship away. I said that before about the Patriots with they cheating shit, because it wouldn't surprise me, especially with what just happened as far as them getting caught videotaping the Bengals sidelines, that Bill Belichick could possibly be suspended for a year. No, that's not enough. That's not enough. That's why I said what they did was Spygate. They think the Patriots give a damn about some $1 million fine and losing a couple of draft picks? You know, when the Spygate thing first happened about 13 years ago? No, you want to hit them where you really want to hit them where it hurts? Take the damn championships. They do it in college sports all the time. If a team gets caught with any type of scandal, cheating of any kind, they vacate the victories from that team. Ask the Fab Five. While we all know and love the Fab Five, because of whatever was happening, their victories have been completely taken out of the record books. So do that to the New England Patriots. Okay? Vacate Super Bowl 36. Vacate Super Bowl 38 and Super Bowl 39. That's half of their Super Bowls, which they were cheating. And you know they were cheating. The Houston Astros. Okay, 2 people lost their job today. Nah, damn that. Vacate the whole championship. Because they had an unfair advantage to win a title. Vacate the title. If you're going to go this far to suspend a GM and a manager for a whole year, why don't you just go for the gusto and take the whole damn thing. That's just my opinion. Honestly, that's just my opinion. I just find that curious because, you really want to, I guess if you want to scare some teams straight, you know, you do some shit like that. You take away victories. You take away rings. Then people are going to look at you with a side eye and be like, oh, damn. Oh, damn. You know, ooh, they mean business. So I just wanted to, put that out there. National championship, college football playoff national championship game is tonight. And this is maybe the most anticipated national championship game in a while. Number 1 LSU versus number 3 Clemson, and number 3 Clemson is the reigning defending national champions. Both teams undefeated at 14-0. Clemson has won 29 straight games. They haven't lost a game in over 2 calendar years. And this should be a good one. You got the Heisman Trophy winner, Joe Burrow, going up against Trevor Lawrence, who's never lost a game, as the quarterback of the Clemson Tigers. 2 Tigers playing, LSU Tigers, Clemson Tigers. And LSU is a favorite. They're playing the game, ironically, in New Orleans in the Superdome. So LSU is going to have a home field advantage, if you will. But I ain't betting against Clemson.
Biatch.
Well, everybody's always talked about Clemson's schedule because they play in the weak ACC, blah, blah, blah. You can't help you can't help who's on your schedule. In college, you can a little bit more than NFL, but you can't help the conference you play in. You know, you can't help it that they're on another level. Remember when that was Florida State years ago in the ACC? When Florida State was just kicking ass and everybody seemed 3 steps behind? I mean, but all we heard is they have lack of competition. I don't care. When you don't lose a game in over 2 years, and you know, that championship game they won last year, they embarrassed Alabama. I was on this show laughing about it because I'm like, y'all got your asses kicked by a freshman quarterback. So, I mean, come on now. I'm not going to disrespect Clemson like that. Until proven otherwise, they are the champs. They should be favored. I don't care how great LSU's offense has been, and it's been great. You got Burrow, and you got the receivers, Jamar Chase and Jefferson, and you have Thaddeus Moss, Randy's son, and that's all well and good. Good. Clemson's LSU's a little suspect on defense. And what is Clemson's weapons? Chopped liver? ATN is a beast. Higgins is a beast. Trevor Lawrence showed me something at Ohio State game. Because if anybody had any questions about Clemson's heart, look at the Ohio State game 2 weeks ago when they came out and Ohio State got punched in the Ohio State punched Clemson in the Disney. And Clemson came back with the heart of a champion and said, no, our streak will not stop today. Because a lot of people said Ohio State was going to beat them. I mean, it just doesn't understand me with these rankings in the college football playoffs. You got LSU is number 1, Ohio State was number 2, Clemson was number 3, Oklahoma was number 4. Oklahoma being number 4, okay, fine. But how are you the reigning national champion, the reigning undefeated national champions, and you go undefeated again, and you're ranked 3rd? Why? Where they do that at? Because the Big Ten and the SEC is so much tougher than the ACC? I don't care. They're the defending champions. They ain't lost yet. Which means until proven otherwise, they should be numero fucking uno. You get me? And if you don't get me, you can go ahead and go straight up Kiss My Ass Avenue, make a short left on Ballsack Boulevard, take a quick trip up north, and finish the rest of the job. I know I got a little emotional on that one. And I'm not a Clemson fan, but I mean, that just, to me, you know, when common sense just is thrown in the toilet, that kind of irks me. You know, that's all. That just kind of irks me. And that's probably why I'm rooting for Clemson tonight. I ain't got nothing against LSU. I don't like Alabama. I don't have nothing against LSU. But I'm probably rooting for Clemson tonight because I hate it when people say, well, you ain't played nobody. And all you've been doing is handling your business, and people try to discount that. I don't like that. Especially when you're a reigning defending champion. I mean, that's just like, what? Like, Put some respect on my name. Put some respect. If we finish it, we done. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That just really, really, really irks me. As a person who loves sports, I'm like, bruh, like, come on, man. Are y'all really doing that to this team? I'm like, wow. Oh, man. So it's been quite a time in sports, man. You know, I don't really have much to say about the NBA. I know I said I was going to kick it in the high gear with the NBA after Christmas. But it's like, I don't know really what much to say. You know, the Lakers are still winning, even though they played their last game without LeBron and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis hurt his butt bone, and LeBron had, flu-like symptoms, and they handled their business. Kuzma, Rondo handled their business. You know, the Bucks still are the best record in the league. Joel Embiid is out for a couple of weeks with a hand issue, and the surprise to many of this season, actually, you know, of course, is, you know, the Miami Heat. But to me, honestly, and it's really not a surprise to me because I did say this at the beginning of the basketball season. I thought that Oklahoma City would do well this season. You know, they are. I think they're, I want to say, in the 7th or 8th spot in the West. But, you know, considering that everybody was kind of looking at, after the trade of Paul George and then the trade of Russell Westbrook, everybody was looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder as if this season was going to be a rebound season because nobody thought that Chris Paul was going to be around that long. A lot of people didn't even think Chris Paul would ever suit up for Oklahoma City, you know. But I looked at that lineup and I was just like, you know, don't sleep on this team. Because, first of all, they don't have a bad roster. I mean, Steven Adams is a very good player. Their young guard, I forget kid's name, but he was in the trade for Paul George. Excuse me, Alexander. Gilgeous Alexander, or however you pronounce that. You know, he's a very, very good player. You still got Schroeder coming off the bench. So you have all of these supplementary pieces. And then you have a floor general like a Chris Paul who knows he would be the alpha dog on that team. So I thought that this team would overachieve because they have talent at each position. And Chris Paul, being pretty much a coach on the floor, would pretty much do what he did with New Orleans and overachieve. I fully think that the Thunder are going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're getting out the first round, depending on the matchup. I mean, if they can lock up and maybe face a Utah or Denver, you know, and Utah's gotten hot, possibly they could wind up winning a first round series. But let me put all of the NBA fans on a quick warning. All everybody is doing is just trying to psych everybody up for this Lakers-Clippers showdown. Okay, the Lakers, I will say, are holding up their end of the bargain. Even though the Clippers have beat them twice, I think the Clippers are a better team. But this load management shit with the Clippers is going to end up having them see the Lakers in the second round. Now, I mean, some people may not care as long as they meet in the playoffs, but I think everybody wants to see the Lakers and the Clippers meet up for the Western Conference Championship. And the Clippers right now sit at a 5 seed, and they may want to get out of that 4-5 bracket, either go up to number 2 or 3 or fall to number 6 or 7, unless you want to see the Lakers in the second round. I mean, whichever. Honestly. That's the way I feel about it. So, anyway, with that being said, where the buzzer. Oh, man, it's been quite the week for sports, but I'm going to be honest with you. This weekend, something is happening. Actually, this Thursday, something is happening that I've been waiting a very long time for. Bad Boys 3, a.k.a. Bad Boys for Life, is coming out this weekend. I cannot wait. I love the first 2 Bad Boy movies. I mean, goodness gracious, could you have more time off between movies in a franchise? Fast and the Furious is about to be on movie 10, and they're coming up on 20 years. This is the third installment of the Bad Boys franchise, and of course, it's starring your boys, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. And I can't wait because the first two were so great. You know, the first Bad Boys came out in 1995, and awesome movie, great movie. And then in 2003, Bad Boys 2, I mean, goodness, what else can you say about that? What else can you say about that? Because, I mean, both movies were just absolutely epic. And I've been saying this for the last 8 years. I can't wait for the next Bad Boy movie to come out. I can't wait for the next Bad Boy movie to come out. And then I'm like, finally, it's coming out. I would Google to see updates on movie, on to see, well, what's going on with it? What's going on? Every time I would hear Martin or Will do an interview about it, I'm like, what's going on? When's it going to come out? When's it going to come out? Is it going to come out in 2016, 2017? I mean, when I saw in 2018 that it was supposed to come out in 2020, I'm like, fuck! Why does it have to wait till 2020? But you know what? Doesn't matter. It's here. I cannot wait to see this movie. I don't go to the theaters a lot to see movies. I'm going to the theater to see this. I'm going to go to the theater to see it. If I get a chance to see it again, I'll probably see it again. And of course, I'm going to buy the DVD. And I'll probably order the movie and pay for it on Xfinity. I'm a Bad Boys fan. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes, I do. So, then I was watching on this morning on the Breakfast Club. They were asking about Bad Boys 4, and they were saying they'll wait to see, you know, what the public says. Look, I'm gonna tell you, black public will never say no to a movie with Martin and Will. My thing is, if you're gonna do a Bad Boys 4, don't take another 17 years to do it. Don't even take another 5 years to do it. You guys are getting up there. You know what I'm saying? Bad Boys 1, you were both in your 20s. Bad Boys 2, you were both in your 30s. You just skipped the 40s, and now Bad Boys for Life, you're in your 50s. So if you're going to do another one, please, if you're going to do another Bad Boys, come with it in 2022, maybe 2023. Yeah, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Only way that you would get away with coming out with one longer than that is if you came out with one in 2025, which would be 30 years since the original. But who's trying to wait? It's been 25 years since the first one, and this is movie number 3. And I know it's going to be epic because, I mean, come on, man. This is Will and Martin, man. This is Martin and Will. I mean, the black public is always going to say, you know, they could ask anybody, think you should do a 4th one? Yeah, man. I mean, now some people may get caught up in the storyline. I don't know. I haven't seen it because sometimes you get storylines where you're like, okay, they don't need to do another one. This ended so perfectly. That's the way I felt about Fast 5 in the Fast and the Furious franchise. I thought that after the 5th movie, they don't need to do no more. They done 3 of them since then. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it just is what it is. And Fast and the Furious 9 is coming out next year, this year, next year, something like that. I don't know, but yes, can't wait. Hope everybody has a wonderful week. Everybody stay positive, stay true. Get negativity out your life. I don't give a damn who they are or what their title is in your life. If they are negative, if they suck the energy out of your life, separate yourself from them. Honestly. I mean, you have to permanently say, I ain't messing with you, but take a step back from them so you can make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row and make sure you're straight and getting to where you want to be as a person. It's hard to do that when you always have negative energies holding you back. I don't care who you are. That has been my mission. That has been my goal. That's been my goal since June of last year. I feel like I'm doing pretty good on it. There's still some things. There's still some areas. You know, there's still some areas where I feel like, okay, I don't feel like dealing with this. I'm dealing with the same old, but it's not much. There's a couple of more fine-tuning to go, but I feel like I'm on the right path, and I just want all of you to be on the right path too. All 6 of my listeners, or all 5 of my listeners. But anyway, this your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. This has been another episode of Sports Plus Life. Y'all enjoy that championship game. I'm going to get at y'all soon. Peace.